Hello everybody, it's me Pierre here. Today I have a really cool video to talk about. I am really tired, so I apologize if I sound tired. It is 7 a.m., 7:19 a.m., and I need to fix my sleep schedule, so I stayed up all night. So sorry if I sound out of it, but I have a really cool video to talk about, and I'm just going to get right into it. It's about the Windows Mixed Reality OASIS driver for all Windows Mixed Reality headsets. That means, yes, the G2 is going to come back from the dead. Thank the heavens, thank God for that. I am super happy. I can't wait to get my G2 up and running again, because honestly, I miss that headset. It's a great fucking headset. Good visuals on that. Anyway, let's get right into it. So, I wanted to make this more like a speculation video on what I hope to expect when this OASIS driver drops for the G2. It's coming out in fall, so September, somewhere in there, and I don't know exactly what day. And what I want to see is a new pass-through, because without Windows Mixed Reality Portal, which is the way you use the G2 pass-through, was that, and it was a really shitty pass-through too. If you don't know, if you never owned a G2 or any Windows Mixed Reality headset, but if you do own one, you'll know what I'm about to talk about. It's where you take the controller and you have to look around with the controller and not with your head when using the pass-through, because they make your controller be like a flashlight to see into the real world, which is super dumb. I don't know who at Microsoft thought that was a good idea, but I hope they change that with the OASIS driver. If they do add pass-through, which I hope they will, is basically what I'm hoping to see is that they do something similar to that of the Quest 2, the Quest 3, or even the Vive Pro, which is using both cameras instead of just one. Instead of using it like a flashlight and using only one camera, I hope it uses both cameras and it's a pass-through that is on both screens. Instead of, like, you know, using your controller to see, you use your head to see. So you can put both controllers down so you don't have to always carry one when you're in the pass-through. So basically, using both cameras of the G2 or whatever Windows Mixed Reality headset you're using, and then what it would do is put the right camera with the right screen, then the left camera with the left screen, obviously, so you know you have better depth perception and you can see what's going on better in the world instead of using your controller to see. And it would be easier to also drink water after a hard Beat Saber session, so you could put both controllers down, grab your water bottle, and drink without needing the controllers. And it would be very nice if you don't need the controllers, because then it would make using index controllers with the G2 even better, because then the pass-through, you don't have to rely on using the controllers anymore, and you can just use the pass-through with the index controllers just fine without needing the G2 controllers, so the G2's pass-through isn't, you know, botched by that or whatever. And like I said, Windows Mixed Reality, the software, the Windows Mixed Reality Portal had a really bad implementation of pass-through, so I can't wait to see the new pass-through if they do it, which I hope they do. Please have a pass-through. I beg you. Anyway, another thing I'm hoping to see is a new way to map out the boundary of your room, because that would be really nice, because the old way the G2 did it, with Windows Mixed Reality, or not just the G2, but every Windows Mixed Reality headset, how they did it is the Windows Mixed Reality headsets did it is you took the headset, similar to like how you would put up base stations, but instead without base stations, you would take the headset, and with the cameras, you go around to map your base, your play space. So you would put it about chest height, and you would walk around with the headset to draw your entire play space. And hope to God it doesn't lose tracking, because then you have to draw it again, and it's really annoying. I never really liked the way to set up the play space boundary with Windows Mixed Reality headsets. It's kind of tedious and annoying, and you shouldn't really have to do it. So instead, I hope they do it in the way that the Quest 2 and the Quest 3 did it, by putting on the headset and drawing your boundary, and then grab the floor and put it down to where you need to put it, which would be so much better. I hope they do that, because that would be great. And then that plus the new pass-through, which I hope they do what I want with the pass-through. God, I hope they do it, is you would, you know, place the floor where it's supposed to be, or use your joysticks to place it down, like put it up and down, and then draw your play space. Like if you own a Quest 2 and a Quest 3, you'll know what I'm talking about. That would be so much better, so much easier to do on top of that, and so much more friendlier for the consumer to just draw their own play space without needing to pick up the headset and walk around your room to trace the play space. It's a tedious way of doing it, and I hate the way they've done it. Another thing I hope to see that would be a great bonus is better tracking, because the tracking of the G2 wasn't terrible, and a lot of YouTubers made it out to be the most terrible thing. If you want to know more about the G2 tracking, check out my video. I have a really good fucking video on, I'll put it in the description. I'll put the video in the description. I have a really great video of the G2 going up against the G1 and the Quest 2 of the tracking test and stuff. The G2 tracking is really not that bad, and people who say you can't play shooter games and have occlusion is lying. You can play the G2 just fine with Pavlov and stuff. But what do I mean by better tracking? I mean just better tracking. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Being smoother. I don't know. SteamVR just has this really good tracking algorithm that is built in to SteamVR that I think would go really well with the G2, that is better than Windows Mixed Realities, and track better, just being more smooth. That's all. Because the G2s, sure, it was smooth, but like you could tell it wasn't as smooth as, like, let's say a Quest 2 or Quest 3 or base stations, for an example. So I hope the tracking is better, is all I'm saying. Like, it's obviously pretty much going to stay the same, but maybe the prediction is going to be better, so it could predict above your head a bit better, or just be smoother, is what I'm trying to say. Who knows? I don't know if it's probably just going to stay the same, but it'd be really nice to see some better, smoother tracking with the controllers. Another thing that I hope to see is an option to not have your controllers turn off all the time when you put them down for more than 2 fucking seconds. I hated that the Windows Mixed Reality headsets, every time you put down the controllers, they would turn off. Instead of having the whole controller turn off, just turn off the LEDs if they're in idle. Like, after 15 seconds or 20 seconds that they've been sitting there, have the LEDs turn off. Don't turn off the whole controller, because it's dumb and it crashes for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know if you guys had that problem, but if I left my controllers on the ground too long, if I'm playing like a racer, a sim racer, it just, every time you put down the controllers, they will turn off, and then either your game will crash, or you'll get a massive lag spike, or the game is like, oh, your controller's turned off, can you please turn them back on? It's really annoying and tedious. Or give us the option to have the controllers never turn off, just like SteamVR has. Actually, yeah, just implement it with SteamVR. Since it's going to be a SteamVR headset, that setting should just work with those controllers, right? So just have the setting where the controllers should interact with the settings in SteamVR, where, you know how there's a setting where it says do not turn off controllers? Yeah, allow the G2 controllers to work with that, so the G2 controllers don't always turn off every 5 seconds. And even if you're sitting super still, like this, with your hand down, let's say you had your hand down there for 15 seconds, the controller will, like, fucking turn off. And then, by the way, I'm over-exaggerating. I think they turn off in, like 5 minutes or something, but if they're sitting idle for too long. But what I mean is, like, they go into, like, idle mode if you're too still with them. So give us the setting to have that not happen anymore, so they're always on, always ready, because it's really fucking annoying how those controllers will just turn off all the time. Those are what I want to see with the new OASIS driver update, because it would be super nice for the G2, and it would be like an upgrade. It would be like a new headset, even though you already own the headset. It'll feel new, because it is running just on SteamVR, and that would be great to see these new things for the G2, because Windows Mixed Reality ain't coming back, so why not give it these new features, right? Keep it up to date with other headsets out there, you know? So that's what I'm excited to see if the G2 will come with. And it's not just the G2, by the way. I keep saying G2. All Windows Mixed Reality headsets, gotta keep saying that. I hope we'll have all of these new features, including the pass-through. The pass-through is what I really hope, and the boundary is what I really hope comes to the G2 in a better, newer way than what the G2 used to do. And also, I hope the microphone quality and the headphone quality stays the same too. It should, because the Valve Index one's off of Steam VR, so maybe they could just use the same drivers for both microphone and headphones as the Valve Index. Because the G2 has a really nice mic and really nice headphones, so I'd hope those don't get butchered somehow or whatever, but I doubt they will. I'm sure everything's going to work on the headset again. And as for the two people who own a G2 Omnicept, I hope the eye tracking and the mouth tracking works for you guys, because God, that would be very disappointing if it doesn't. And I hope the heart rate sensor also works on top of that too, if you enjoyed that kind of thing. Yeah, and honestly, I think that's about it. And oh, maybe they can make the controllers more power efficient. I mean, I don't know how they would, but that would be also really nice, because they don't last nearly as long as Quest controllers, but to be fair, they last almost probably the same amount as the Index controllers, the G2 controllers, at least if you have really good rechargeable batteries, by the way, to be specific there. Yeah, that's what I'm excited for, and I'm excited to use my G2 again. I hope you guys are excited for me to use the G2 again. Can't wait to make the switch, because then I'll get better visuals again. I can actually fucking read something that is 2 millimeters in front of me and even further away on top of that. Because honestly, the Vive cannot read like 2 millimeters in front of it, and plus the screen door effect is still bothering me to this day. At least the OLED is nice. That's the one thing I'll miss on this headset is the OLED. The OLED is just really, really, really nice, but that's all I'll ever miss. I gotta stop rambling on. Anyway, let me know what you guys are looking forward to on the G2, but or just any Windows Mixed Reality headset you have. I do want to give a rundown really quick here. The G2 has a resolution of 2160 per eye, and it is at 90 Hz, and it's an LCD display that is 35 pixels per degree, which is really fucking good, by the way, for a headset with such a high resolution, because you don't even see the screen door effect, which is really fucking nice. It also has some of the best Fresnel lenses. Sure, they're Fresnel lenses and not pancake lenses, but they are some of the best Fresnel lenses out there that are just really fucking good lenses. It is just basically really clear. Sure, it's a little blurry off the edges, but it's really not that bad. So if you're looking into maybe buying a G2 now because it's going to work again, I recommend it. There's tons used even for cheap prices. Like I said, they have a 2160 by 2160 per eye. The colors are also really nice on the headset. Sure, not like OLED, but and definitely nowhere near as deep blacks as the OLEDs can have, but it's really good for an LCD, and honestly, it's just a very good headset, and the screens are also nice and bright. The FOV is good enough, and the microphone and headphones are just a great combo with the headset. So if you're looking to buying a G2, go for it. That's what the G2 specs are. But if you're looking forward to buying a Windows Mixed Reality headset of some kind, I don't know many of them, but I do have a Lenovo Explorer, so I'll tell you about the specs of that one if you're looking into that one, which you can get for like dirt cheap. I mean, like really, really fucking cheap. That one has a 1440 by 1440 per eye. But the screen door effect is really atrocious. I do not know the pixel density, but I can tell you right now it's really bad. Screen door effect is so bad on that headset, and the lenses are also really bad. I don't really recommend Windows Mixed Reality headsets if it's not the G2. There's only two headsets I can recommend from Windows Mixed Reality, and that's the Samsung Odyssey and the HP Reverb G2, because those two are actually decent. And I guess the HP Reverb G1 is good too. If you could get that for a good price too. But any other Windows Mixed Reality headset, I don't recommend unless if you could get it for a good price and if you're on a budget. It's a good starter headset. But yeah, I recommend the Windows Mixed Reality headsets, especially if you're on a budget. But for those who want that nice visuals in VR for a good price, I recommend the G2 again. It is a great headset. It's a good starter headset for VR as well on top of that. But even if you're not starting in VR, it's a great collector's item. Get one. But the G2 was one of the best headsets, and I'll stand by that. By the way, you will have to use the G2 with lights on. Well, I don't know about that now, because I don't know if the OASIS driver will allow it to work in the dark. Because, like, the Quest 2 and the Quest 3 somehow got an update to work in the dark. I used my Quest 2 in the dark one time, and I was, like, blown away that it even worked. So I want to know if they'll be able to do that with the G2. I doubt it, but that would be really cool if they get it to work in the dark as well. But yeah, If not, keep your lights on. Don't make it too bright, but also don't make it too dark. That's the best way the G2 can track. So yeah. Unless, like I said, unless the tracking is better, then maybe you don't have to have like the most amount of lighting out there for it. Anyway, let me know in the comments below if you're excited to get to use your G2 again, and also let me know if you're gonna buy one. Because I am super excited, and let me know if you even have your G2 still. Or if you have a Windows Mixed Reality headsets, let me know in the comments below if you're going to still use them, and if you are going to go back to Windows Mixed Reality headsets after this update. I recommend it, because it's still one of the best headsets out there, and I still think the G2 is still at least in the top 5 when it comes to visual quality in VR for the consumer. It is really fucking good for that. Yeah, that's all I can really talk about, so... yeah, that's about it. This is Pira. Stay cool. Yeah, stay the fuck out of my fridge. I'm excited for the OASIS driver. HP Reverb G2 OASIS edition. Yeah, and let me know, actually, yeah, let me know which Windows Mixed Reality headsets you have in the comments as well. And let me know if you're excited for this, because I sure am. Anyway, yeah, let me know what you want to see also in this OASIS driver update, because, like, I'm excited. It doesn't have to come right away, just have, like, updates for it or something, I don't know, but I really hope that's what comes with it. God, I hope so, because that pass-through needed help. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. This is Pira. Stay cool, stay the fuck out of my fridge, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye. Right foot creep, yeah, walking with the heat. Sucking on dick all day or week.